Good evening, friends. I'm Dennis Wholey. This is PBS Late Night. There's a strange marriage today of politics, media, and religion. Lots of players in the game. Jerry Falwell, the moral majority, TV evangelists, the Coalition for Better Television, and, of course, battles in the classroom and the courtroom about creationalism. Our guest tonight, Madalyn Murray O'Hair. She's probably the best-known atheist in America, perhaps the world. Good to have you here.
Oh, I'm delighted.
You won a victory today in the courts?
We did. We're just as excited and happy as we can be. There are 7 states in the Union which have constitutional prohibitions against atheists holding either office or public trust. And today we won the fight in Tennessee with a consent decree signed by the Attorney General and the Governor of Tennessee saying that it is unconstitutional in Tennessee to require a person holding either office or public trust to believe in God and to believe in a future state of rewards and punishments.
Well, that would be a violation of the Constitution, wouldn't it be?
Well, we think it's a violation of the Constitution, and we've won in North Carolina and we've won in Tennessee. But the great state of Texas has spent almost $250,000 fighting me on this. Arkansas is fighting us on it. We still have a case pending in Mississippi and South Carolina yet to go. But the amazing thing is that Pennsylvania has such a provision also.
Clearly, though, you're supposed to have a separation between the church and the state, right?
Well, one would think that, and that's what Thomas Jefferson thought that the Founding Fathers had built in. Mm-hmm. But, of course, that wall has crumbled so considerably now.
But certainly many atheists have held office, haven't they, in many states?
Well, atheists only can hold office if they keep their mouths shut, if they pretend that they really aren't atheists, or if they're closet atheists. It's pretty much like closet gay people. We have the same problem with atheists.
Did you ever believe in God, you yourself?
I've asked myself that question because I was born into and reared in a Presbyterian home, and I went to Sunday school and church when I was young. And as I look back on it now, I do not have a clear remembrance of what I thought all that was about.
So there was no particular time that there was a conscious change, or?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. I engage in an activity that is extremely dangerous and one that perhaps should be suppressed. And that is that I read all the time, and reading is probably the most dangerous exercise in America today. And I must have been about 10 or 11 years old one weekend when I picked up the Bible and read it cover to cover. And it completely, totally, absolutely turned me off for life.
Why? What happened? What did you read?
Well, the Old Testament is brutal and ugly, disgusting, loathsome. The New Testament probably surpasses it in its brutal application of ideas.
What would be an example of that in the New Testament?
All right, let me give you an example in the New Testament. Jesus Christ says, I come not to bring peace but the sword. I come to turn brother against brother and father against son. You must hate everybody, even your own self.
When did
if
he
you
say
want
that?
to come under
when
me.
When did he say that?
Oh, pick it out. Matthew, Mark, Luke, it's all the way through it. It's a generic theme. The other thing is, think of the Old Testament. Is there a hell there? There really isn't. If you think all through the Old Testament, but New Testament is hell, and it's on the lips of Jesus Christ, because he wants to see people suffering in hell, condemned for a difference of an opinion with him. And he almost licks his lips about the hellfire and the continuing deprivation of human beings.
So you think some of that is kind of allegorical, and some of the examples that we read in the Bible are kind of illustrative, just to make a point, and maybe.
Well, now you and I are civilized, and we can look back on this and say these are allegories. But the people who wrote that Bible didn't believe that they were allegories, and you know that, and I know that. And the Falwellians know it, and they are interpreting it as it was written. And they are right, and the modern theologian is wrong. And we all know this. It's a game that we play.
Is it lonely being an atheist?
It's lonely being intelligent. I think that that's primarily it. It's particularly lonely for a woman to be intelligent. And it is lonely to be an atheist, yes.
Yeah. When you've had a battle, and the battle has been going on for a long time, do I understand correctly, and we have sat down and talked before, but I just want to refresh my own memory, that it's okay in your book for people to believe in God if they so choose?
We have two different aspects because we are in the United States, and also we pay respect to our Constitution and the cultural heritage which we have. So that our organization takes two different positions. One is an absolute church and state separation theme, whereby we say, if you want to be religious, you be religious. That's your business. If you want to build a religious hospital, a religious school, a religious social service agency, that's your business. Go ahead and do it. But don't you dare ask for tax exemptions so that my taxes will be increased so that you practice your religion. And we follow that very, very strictly along the line. That's one aspect of our organization. The other aspect of our organization is that we're atheists. And looking at what the Christian community believes, or the Judeo-Christian community believes, I'm sorry, it's just as funny as hell. And we expect the right to laugh at the postulates that religion has upon which they premise their ideas.
You know, I was thought, you know, when I was coming here to get ready for the program, I said, you know, Madalyn Murray is probably the leading atheist in the country, in the world, you know. And here I'm sitting here on a nightly basis hosting a national talk show out of Detroit, you know, telephone talk show. There's nothing else like it in the country. And I said to myself, neither one of us would be sitting here unless it wasn't for the grace of God.
Oh, come on. You don't really believe that.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, no. I am sitting here because my mother and father were fornicating one night and I became the product of that. That's the only reason that I'm here. The other reason that I'm here is because I have been assisted through the American educational system to obtain a kind of a maximum amount of education which I could absorb with my own natural facilities.
You know, there's something in the literature that I picked out that said as that God is a myth.
Oh, yes.
That's your belief. And you say
no, it's not my belief. God is a myth.
Well, it's according to you.
No. You see,
I mean, there are others of us running around who think that he or she is there.
Yes, but if you believe there's a tree outside and there's no tree outside, you are the one who is fooled with your belief.
But just as I cannot prove the existence of God by anything that is around me, I can believe it, and you are entitled to believe what you want to believe.
Well, we have
God,
no belief.
That's okay.
No, we have no belief systems because we.
You don't believe in anything.
No, not a thing. Let me explain that. There's no such a thing as belief in mathematics. Mathematics is a discipline, and it will exist independently of anybody's belief or non-belief, just as will chemistry or geology or geography or anything else. This isn't something that you can pick up and say, well, 32 feet per second, that's gravity. I believe in that. Because whether you believe or whether you don't believe, gravity is 32 feet per second, and that's it. So we accept objective reality.
How about faith?
Absolutely none at all.
No faith.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Huh?
What do you mean by faith?
I would say that start on one level and say believing in the experiences of other people. And there's a whole lot of other people out there who think that God is very much a part of their lives.
Well, they're all deluded.
All?
All.
You're going to sit there and say I'm deluded, Murray?
Yes.
You wouldn't say that to me.
Yes, I would, Dennis Wholey.
Why?
I would look you straight in the eye and say, Dennis Wholey, if you believe in God, you have a problem. For there are several reasons that you have a problem, because then you're dependent on something outside of yourself.
No. Go ahead,
yes,
go ahead.
Beside that, you feel that you have some sort of personal inadequacy.
Dependent upon something outside of myself. Yeah.
That's
okay,
right.
Yes,
and you have some sort of feeling of personal inadequacy, that you cannot handle your own life without a reference to that outside entity. That without that outside entity, you're not quite whole. Remember, we're only here tonight because of the grace of God.
That's absolutely true.
You see?
And at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it's not going to happen at 12 o'clock, we may get hit by a bus.
No, I'm going to turn into a pumpkin.
You got some stuff in your literature that seems to suggest that man's future is in his own hands. And some of the literature that I dug out, wherever it is here, really I liked. I mean,
Of course.
I really liked it.
We're logical and consistent.
And well, I don't know about it. We'll get to that as we go along. I don't know if that's true. Let me see what it kind of suggests. The theme that goes through this is that we tend to look outside of ourselves and place our belief system and our faith in things that are outside of ourselves, and therefore we don't do our part.
That's
and
right.
I think it's terribly important that we not blame God or give credit to those things around us when they don't work out, when we could have had something to do about it.
A nascent atheist.
A what?
A nascent atheist. Pretty soon you'll be one.
No. Never be one. I believe that God is present in my life and that He loves me very much. And that the reason I'm here has a lot to do with God.
That is hallucination.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No,
because what you have done is you have erected a fable, and you believe in that fable.
No, I think I have to do my part. The reason you're sitting there is
But that's
partly
not,
because of your
that
own
is
hard
not
work,
Judeo-Christianity.
your parents doing whatever they were doing, the good schooling that you had, the doctorate that you
All
have in
of
jurisprudence, the circumstances in your life. But God permits you to be there as the
No,
number one
no.
atheist.
There is no God to permit anybody to be any place at any time. This is a myth that was made up. It's a whole story set that was put upon people through their own imaginative use of an attempt to answer problems which they had in primitive times. But we're past
we're doing
them.
our part. I don't think we're doing our part for the most part. I mean, I think we could do
What
a lot
has that
better.
got to do with God?
Because we could do our part, and then it'll be
Oh,
okay.
come on. Let me ask you, if everybody out there tonight starts to pray, will that stop a nuclear war? If everybody out there absolutely sits down right now and starts to pray about the slums in America, will they go away?
We don't want to take away the responsibility that we have ourselves. We have a great responsibility.
This is an atheist talking.
No, it isn't.
Listen,
we have a great responsibility to make this world safe.
That has nothing to do, though, with Judaic Christianity, because Judaic Christianity is set in a certain time frame.
It's not determinism.
No,
it's not.
No, because what you're talking about and what every Christian out there believes is that if they accept Jesus Christ, that through their acceptance of Jesus Christ, they will overcome death, which was laid on the world by the death and the original sin of Adam and Eve, the original sin of Adam and Eve, which brought them their death.
Do you think when you die, it's all over? Huh?
It is so over that it's incredible. Just the moment your unique individual brain starts to rot after, say, 3 minutes without oxygen, you are done.
When God smites you with his sword and that moment comes and you believe, you are going to be dynamite.
I don't have to worry.
You're going to be dynamite.
I don't have to worry at all.
I want to ask the folks at home to get involved. We're at 313-872-4040. Never say that because we don't know what God has planned for you. Madalyn brought with her some things, and is it Levy over there? We're going to take a look. Now, these are going to make some people angry, I think, but we'll show you what these are some of the things that put out of the center.
Do you know who said that?
Who said that?
Clarence Darrow.
I don't believe in God because I don't believe in Mother Goose.
That's right. This is one of the kind of stickers that we get out. Incidentally, one of the things that I'm a little bit PO'd about you with Dennis, is the fact that every time that I come on to a television show any place, and here too, I am represented as being a single atheist all alone out there fighting, and that's not true. We have an enormous big organization that produces these bumper stickers, writes these books, gets involved in the legal conditions which are necessary for our continuation in the United States. We have 46 chapters in 26 different states. Our plant in Austin, Texas is worth $1.5 million. Wait till you see it on television at the end of the show here. We have a great number of persons who can speak for atheists whom I have trained personally. For instance, in Detroit here, I could give you at least 6 people who would be very competent to talk about atheism on television.
Okay.
And in addition to that, they're good looking too.
Well, I have done programs.
Cosmetics is important.
Well, listen, you're beautiful. I have done programs with your son also, and I think along the lines I've done other programs with non-names, although you and I have met in the past. But you are kind of recognized as the spokesperson in America, rightly or wrongly.
Oh, I'm good. I'm charismatic and everything else.
You are. Take a look at this, huh?
It's beautiful. This is one of our themes.
Bumper sticker?
Religion is the problem, not the answer.
It's not the problem.
It is the problem.
It isn't the problem.
As a matter of fact,
if people did everything they could do and then added God on top of that, they'd have a great deal of peace in life.
I don't think so. I think that what they would have is a retirement from the arena of life altogether. Incidentally, this has to do with a punk rock group in Salt Lake City, Utah, and their theme song is "There is no God, there's only noise." And it's one of the most beautiful theme songs I've ever heard in my life. I was stunned by it.
This is going to blow some people away. Look at that. Now, you're using that thing that they have the symbol of the banning the guns and things like that?
That's right. This is when I was speaking at one of the universities. I speak at universities continually and corrupt the youth, as Socrates used to say.
Well, we'll hope that they make up their own minds. Now, why did we lose Levy on that? There we go. Can we do it? There we go.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
They're beautiful. We get out a magazine every month, a very, very fine one, I'm happy to say.
Oh, yeah, we have that.
And we put out a newsletter for the persons who are members, and we're really doing great. This is our magazine that's on the camera now. And since it's March, the theme is here that the religious community obtains a tax break that they shouldn't have. Incidentally, let me talk to you about a suit that we filed last week.
Okay, now I want to go to the phones, and we got to talk about
right.
Falwell and moral majority and all those people.
Oh,
Tell me
sure.
about the suit. Tell me about
The suit that we filed last week is against Internal Revenue Service, asking the judge to issue a declaratory judgment and an injunction against Internal Revenue Service for permitting people to take a tax exemption if they donate to a prescribed list of religious organizations of which the government approves. That is unconstitutional.
I don't know about that one yet.
The government.
Well, I suppose it is. I mean,
government every year.
That's part of business, and the praying in the schools and things like that. If you're really going to have a separation of church and state and public schools, there are some things that you and I do agree on. But, you know, the big ones.
All the rational ones.
We don't agree on the big ones.
Yeah.
Hi there, you're on PBS Late Night?
Hi, I'm Herma Neff from Houston, Texas.
Hi there, how are you?
Hi. I feel like I'm backtracking, but one of the first questions you asked Miss O'Hare was how she became an atheist. And I wanted to say that I was raised as a Christian. I think most children are raised as Christians.
Yes.
But the older you get and the more you read, especially if you read anything about science, you cannot believe anymore in the fairy tales of the Bible.
Right on.
I just worry about people who really are grown and still believe those stories.
Well, you have to worry about me then.
You see, we accept rather, because we really don't have belief systems, we accept that prayer is talking to oneself, that the idea of God, angels, heaven, hell, all of these things are nonsense terms that people use. Even death is a nonsense term, because we don't know anything about death, we only know about life. You're sitting there, Dennis, if you really believe it, transcend yourself. Because religious people do it all the time. Talk in tongues. Do you really believe that, Jabber?
Well, I don't think I can do it, but I think maybe some people can do it.
Well, I think that those people who do it are seeking instant recognition when they haven't done anything to deserve it.
Maybe
and
so.
This is the only thing that they're interested in.
Hi there, you're on PBS Late Night?
Hello, this is Bob Burley from Chicago.
Hi, Bob.
I would just like to comment that I sort of resent the way Miss O'Hare equates intelligence with being an atheist, because I don't think one necessarily follows the other.
I thought I'd leave it up to someone to challenge her on that point.
I can't imagine what you mean, because a religion, and I think we have no problem at all with the religious community over this statement. Religion is based on faith.
Mm-hmm.
And atheism is based absolutely on a reasonable inspection of the evidence. We have to have logical proofs absolutely posited before we will accept anything. So that when it comes down to an argument between a minister and me, we can't ever come to a conclusion simply because he posits his whole opinion upon acceptance in his faith of statements which have been made to which he was not a party in the making of them. And I, of course, am trying to be critical and examine them from a logical viewpoint. So
when you read the Bible and you read about the story of the life of Christ,
terrible.
Wait a minute. Let me finish the question. Did you think he was like a great person, at least? You know, great person, human being, man?
I had been trained to believe that, and for a long time I thought that he was an historical figure until I started to do research on it. And of course the Roman Catholics are right. He's a God figure and a mythological figure.
Well, he said he was
He's
God.
not an historical figure at all. It's the Protestants who introduced that error into Bible research.
I'm saying if you read his life story, he's kind of a good moral person.
No, he isn't.
Oh, no?
No.
Now, where did we go wrong?
Well, as I said before, this is a man who would consign you to the flames of hell for a difference of opinion with him. This is a person who feels that he must take up the sword in order to muster his cause.
I don't know that quote that you keep alluding to.
I
don't know that quote.
As a matter of fact, one of the little parables that he tells in the Bible story, and he teaches by parables, is to bring mine enemy before me and kill him before my eyes. Jesus Christ was a mean person.
Oh. Hi there, you're on PBS Late Night?
Yes, I would like to congratulate Dr. O'Hare. First of all, I admire her tremendously, and I'd like her to comment. I was brought up as a Catholic, and slowly it evolved that I would listen nights when my father used to beat up my mother, and my sister and I tried to stop him one night, and after that we became his punching bag, as it were. And I would go to the priest, and I would ask him, in the confessional, and I would tell him about this. And all he would do would say, pray for guidance. And I'm praying every night, please, let him die, do something, anything. Nothing was done. Finally, I was raped. I was only 11 years old by my father. After that time, I started reading anything I could on other religions, Hindu, Buddhist. It all came down to the fact that there is really not a God. As you say, it's a fairy tale. And I would just like you to comment on the fact that the religions do not ponder to everyday life. They're so set apart from it, especially the Catholic religion.
Okay.
Well, this is the thing. I think it's extremely tragic that you had this kind of a background in your life. And, of course, it could happen to not alone a Roman Catholic, but a Lutheran or even an atheist family where you have a brutal husband and a brutal father. And these things are extraordinarily tragic. The good thing that has come out of it, I think, is that it began to have you question your association with the priest who did not come to your rescue or did not attempt to ameliorate your particular condition. We all come to it through that. And I do accept the fact that nothing in religion is really associated to your life. So you're having trouble on the job. Pray and see if it goes away. So you're unemployed here in Detroit. Pray and see if it goes away. There is nothing in prayer that will answer any of the problems that the human community has. We have to dig for the answers ourselves sociologically, culturally,
if you're having trouble
economically.
in situations, one must first get off the dime and do something. We have personal responsibilities.
True. This is true. And if you stop to consider what happens to an atheist, if you feel that it's necessary to add an extra component such as God belief, well, what about the atheist? Because we don't feel that need.
Yeah, but
I had a husband who died in 18 months of agonizing illness, cancer, and there was no turning to God at all. The only thing that I could turn to was the doctor to help him through the situation as best as he could.
Part of life is acceptance of what God's plan is all about.
No, part of life is acceptance of life.
True. Okay.
Without any kind of a God reference. There's no need for it.
You and I are not that far apart.
Let me tell you something.
Not that far apart.
There was an experiment done in England called the Big Mad Experiment. And in this, a group of sociologists went out and questioned two different groups of persons, one who believed in God and one group which did not believe in God. And they called it Big Mad because belief in God, big, mad, M-A-D, made a difference. And they found out that the woman who grew petunias over here in the non-believing group, her petunias thrived just as the believing group. When her husband was out of work, she handled the situation just like the woman who believed in God handled the situation.
Skills in living.
That's right. And that's the point. This is what we do. We develop the skills in living without a reference or a framework to any God idea.
But the rest of it can be gravy. Hi there, you're on PBS Late Night.
Yeah, my name is Gary Sarsak. I'm from Mundelein, Illinois.
Hi, Gary.
And I'd like to ask you a question about your born-again Christian son. How does that affect you?
My born-again Christian son has a long history in our family, and we feel that that's a private situation. He had an opportunity to do one of two things. If he wanted to turn to the Lord, he had the right and the opportunity to go out and preach Christianity, or he had the opportunity, although I don't feel that he had a right, to go out and attack his family or the philosophy upon which his family is predicated. And my son chose to do one of those things to the detriment of the other. That's his problem. If you want to know anything at all about my son, call him. I represent atheism. He represents something entirely else. I think that it's tragic that he has taken his quarrel with his family into the public arena.
So is it more than just belief, or is like the no communication between you now?
It hasn't anything to do with belief at all. And as I say, it's a terribly long and involved story about William J. Murray, which I feel is a private story, and I do not intend at any time at all to discuss what my son says on the air.
Fair enough. Hi there, you're on PBS Late Night.
Yes, I'm John, and I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas.
Hi, John. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you. I have two questions for you, Doctor.
Sure.
How do you explain the fulfilling of Bible prophecy over the years? And where do you think you came from?
Well, I just finished telling you where I came from in respect to the activities of my parents. You see, if you're going to ask a question, you have to have enough basic moxie to be able to ask the question correctly. You don't want to ask me, where did you come from? What you want to ask is, from whence was life derived? And I don't know the answer. But you see, I'm a very courageous woman, and I can face the fact that I don't know the answer. But you religious folks can't. The answer is going to come to us, and that answer is going to be from astronomy, from space exploration, from astrophysics. We will find out from whence our universe came, and we will find out from biochemistry how life was derived. As a matter of fact, we are already in laboratories all over the world being able to make organic material out of inorganic material. So the answer is coming to us. It's not going to come from reaching back and reading a Bible which was written by a bunch of itinerant peasants wandering around, half hallucinating in the Sinai desert. No way. You're not going to get your answer there. You're getting your answer from Einstein and from the Nobel Prize winners in the future. This is where the answer will come from.
Allegedly, they were inspired by God.
Oh, come on.
Hi there. You're on PBS Late Night.
Hi, Dennis.
Hi there.
My name is Sheldon. I'm calling from Southfield.
Hi there.
I love your show. I think you picked a doozy of a topic.
I'll give the producing team some credit.
Well, I'm wondering if it's a little more controversial than Reaganomics or a little less, but it's our topic anyway. My question is to Ms. O'Hare, or Dr. O'Hare, I guess somebody called you. How is it possible to be an atheist? If you allow me to elaborate, I think the question will be a little bit clearer. As I understand it, an agnostic is a person who doesn't believe in God simply because there is no proof. And maybe my definitions are wrong, and you can help me.
Your definition is wrong.
Okay, well, as I understand it, an agnostic is a person who doesn't believe in God because there's no proof, and an atheist is a person who doesn't believe in God because they don't believe in God. And that if proof were offered, an agnostic would eventually believe, and an atheist would not. It seems to me that from what you're saying that if we could somehow offer some scientific proof in God, you certainly would believe. You seem to be a reasonable person and accept scientific proof for other types of phenomena of the universe, and therefore would believe in God in that.
Interesting.
Could you please answer that question?
Surely, I'd be delighted. First off, if you ask an atheist if they believe in God, the immediate back return of this atheist is it's not a matter of believing in God, because as I said before, if there's a God out there, it doesn't matter whether you believe in the God or whether you don't believe in the God.